What's up, guys? Welcome to some TCGO featuring another speed deck. This one was rampant at pre-release. This is Speed Heatmors. It's similar to Speed Rayquaza, except it doesn't accelerate itself. It's got half the HP. It takes a little bit longer to attack, but you do not have to discard energy in order to attack. Once you have 3 energy on a Heatmors, you are like absolutely ready to go, and you can do a lot of damage. I added item cards because they really help. Having 4 Heatmors and like 56 energies, although it's really tempting to do that, it's really hard to get more than 1 Heatmors in play. So a little bit of consistency in this kind of deck never hurt anybody, especially because I can get 3 Heatmors in play. Right here, I was hoping for a turn 1 fiery licks, and look at that, I got it. So I do 1 manual energy attach, and I get 2 ethers off in order to attach to Heatmors to fill the requirement for fiery licks. And this was my first game with Speed Heatmors, and he's just sitting there dumbfounded like, what the hell did I just watch? But ether, if it's a top card of your deck and it's a fire energy, you can put it on any Pokemon you want immediately. That in mind, Heatmors' secondary attack is you discard the top 4 cards of your deck, does 50 damage times the amount of fire energy you discarded. I discarded 4 of them, so that means I do 200 damage times 2. I did 400 damage on turn 1. Is anyone else out there going to be able to say that? I don't know. But this was my first game with Speed Heatmors. It was fantastic. But as I think he captured in the other one, I don't run any switches or anything in this deck, honestly. Like, Hypnotoxic is the bane of this deck's existence, but when is Hypnotoxic, like, not the bane of any deck's existence, to be honest? Because this thing is just like, you chug along, you go, and you do the stuff. But I have Skylas in here to be able to pull level balls or ethers, have a little bit of flexibility, and it also runs my deck for some stuff. I go for the ether, and I actually hit a Skyla, which is a little bit odd, but I can buy myself some time here, because under normal circumstances, I don't see steel decks running energy acceleration outside of ether decks. One guy I saw at my league was running a fighting steel deck, and he had Terrakion EX, and the pump-up smash was used for steel energy. It worked out pretty good because fighting and steel are on the same blend energy, so you don't even have to sacrifice that badly. If you run 4 blends and like 4 prisms, you can probably hit one of them eventually, power up Terrakion EX, and then just get acceleration going that way, while doing a pretty decent amount of damage too. It's not bad, but he's not running this. I see that he's running Terrakion, which is interesting. I don't know if he was running Terrakion EX, but he's making some plays. I don't have much to talk about on my side of the field. I just, I'm looking in my discard to see what all I've used and what my odds are of being able to fiery lick a lot quicker. As you can see, I have 3 ethers, a level ball, and a Skyla in the discard pile. If I have 12 non-fire energies in the discard pile at any time, that means I will be hitting 200 damage fiery licks every time, or licky fires, whatever the fuck they're called. But here he makes kind of a risky play, assuming that I will not have enough energy for this, but I'm actually going to go ahead and Skyla to see if I can get my final ether going. And I do have one more. This is very nice for this energy's acceleration because it helps the acceleration so much. And I'm going to go for that fiery licks. That's the name of the attack. And would you look at that, I hit 4 fire energies and knock out a Keldeo EX in 1 shot. So I did 400 damage on turn 1, freaking 200 damage on like turn 3, and I take 2 more prizes. Terrakion's going to come in even if it retaliates. I do have another Heatmors lying in the wings, and I'm just going to go, and he's just like, what the shit just happened? I was still in complete disbelief, and I went on to play for around half an hour after this. If it was live, it would have been great, but I know that Speed Heatmors has kind of a negative reputation, so I decided not to do it live and only record the good ones. But the fact of the matter was, I was winning like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 of my matches. It didn't count a few of them because of how quick I ended up winning. I would end up getting donks like turn 1, turn 2. It was ridiculous. But if you guys like these kinds of decks, they're really funny, but the only ones I've actually heard of are Speed Ray and Speed Heatmors, just because Speed Heatmors does so well with all the energy in the deck. But I'm going to thin out my deck some more, use Skyla to chain for level ball to chain for Heatmors, and that thins out my deck by a level ball and a Heatmors, meaning that I am less likely to whiff on one of the fiery licks. And all of a sudden, I knock out the Terrakion because he was unable to get a fighting energy onto it in order to retaliate, and he's going to end out. I actually really like it when people late game end because it puts fire energies back into my deck. The more things I end up hitting, the more fire energies I end up hitting, the better. And I would have more than likely used up all the items / supporters in my hand whenever possible, so it's not that big a deal to me at all. What I am going to do right here is I'm going to Luring Flame in the Kling Klang just because it is an easy target. He is building up energy on his Cobalion, so I can just go ahead and do that whenever possible. But I do have 2 Heatmors ready to go. Oh, the other thing is I'm playing these at regular speed because these matches are just so fucking fast, and I honestly wanted to take the first one to explain to you guys what's going on in this game. But he's going to take some burn damage. I don't have any ether, so I have to manually accelerate. But I choose to... I believe no. Okay, I'm ending my turn. I don't know why I didn't attach to the active one, retreat, and keep going, because that would have been way easier. He would have bought himself some more turns, I guess. But I'm like 1, 2, 3 more energies away from having every Heatmor on the field and powered up. So the instant he knocks one down, I'm just going to be able to hit another one again. So it's not that big a deal. He ends back in. I put 2 fires back in the deck, get 2 fires back. Same fire energies? I don't know. I really don't care. And we're just waiting. It seems to me like he's kind of stuck. It was kind of unfortunate this was the first matchup, so I was like, okay, maybe it was a fluke, which is why I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more games after this for you guys, because these games are really quick. A couple of them were against Darkrai too, which is really funny. But he brings in that one to start attacking, and that's when I decide to do that. I decide to go in, go for the Fiery Licks. I actually whiff on one of them, and I hit a Skyla, but thanks to weakness, it does bring it up to 300. And that was a quick game. That was like a 6-minute game, if that. And that was it. He did not take a single prize that entire game. So, jumping on to game 2, we have... I started recording just because I saw 2 Heatmors and a level ball. I was like, alright, that's not bad. I can have 3 Heatmors. I usually start recording at the beginning of the game if I notice that I have an ether, because that usually means I can get set up turn 2. Unless there's a catcher or anything like that. But if Heatmor is not attacking by turn 2, it's gonna bite you in the ass. So, surprisingly, he mulligans more than I do, and I get to draw a card off of that. This guy was running something interesting. He was running something similar to what I was running. My very first deck ever was a Sableye Zoroark deck, and then I opted not to use it after all because, I don't know, I just came into better cards. Shout out to Cody, and yeah, I just came into way better cards. But it looks like he's using Ether. I question his use of Pokeball over Level Ball or Ultra Ball. Maybe he's just getting started out. I don't know. But he did try to go for the Ether, ended up pulling a Zorua, and he gets the Confusion, which is really annoying. I think I work around it, though. So I'm going to go for Level Ball to get another Heatmor out. And I decide to get the benched ones set up, if I'm not mistaken. Or do I get that active one set up? I think I participate in the Ancient Act of YOLO, and I tried to Luring Flame in the Zorua, and it turns out I end up whiffing it. That's fine, because by the time that I start attaching energy to one on the bench, if I happen to flip tails on the next couple, I'll end up taking myself out in the process, and I'll get a safe switch. Well, not a safe switch into it. I will finally get into it after all, as opposed to discarding all the energy. So, I mean, I'll get a hit off 50% of the time, so it's basically just turning from like Aerial Ace to Dynamic Punch, that kind of thing. But he goes for Ascension, which lets him search his deck for Zoroark, and then that just counts as his attack, as evolution. I decide I'm going to try to stall as long as possible while I can get another Heatmor set up, and I just go for the Luring Flame. So he can attach another energy to that Zorua and evolve it as well if he really wants to. I question his use of Grass Energy in a Dark deck. We see why he has the Grass Energy in here, but it's still like... it really still doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But he can attach to that and then just retreat out into the Zoroark if he really wants to. That's fine by me. I'm just going to be a manly Heatmor doing a manly thing. But I zoom in on Heatmor right there just for a little bit, just so you guys can see what it does. That's probably going to end up being the thumbnail because Heatmor is a fucking boss in this format. I'm going to go for another Luring Flame, end up hitting myself. That's fine. I think that energy he has attached to him, I don't know if Vegas is really this bad or if that happens to be a Grass Energy. Let me see if I can't see that. Can we go to Best Auto? I still can't see what kind of energy is attached to Zoroark. Thanks a lot. I go for the Luring Flame, and I'm just going to bring the other one. So just trying to get a little bit of time, I guess. I finally have one set up on the bench. and then if it turns out my active one ends up hitting itself, that's fine. I'm trying to make it so he has to attach an energy onto Zorua every time in order to retreat out to something else, or if he has to use up a switch. As you can see, he has no hand, so I've definitely bought myself the time I've been after. And right now, if I do hurt myself, then I can just go into something else. Oh, it is a dark energy. Okay. If he gets one more dark energy on that, he can do that. But for now, he needs 2 energy on that to attack, 1 to retreat. So in any case, I'm just buying myself turns with the other ones, and I'm trying to kill myself on this one so I can get the safe switch into one of them, because he still doesn't have any energy on the field whatsoever. Doesn't get the burn, that's fine. That energy, or not that energy, that Heatmor is going to be ready to go next turn, and I see a Skyman come onto the field. I don't know why it comes on this early, but it is definite bait. I'm noticing that he attaches to that Zoroark. I don't know whether or not that's going to be an energy. Skyman has a retreat cost of 1. I figure I might as well risk it. If that's not an energy, it's going to be stuck there, and I can knock it out on the next turn. But the first attack is Luring Flame, in case I didn't cover that, but it does act like a catcher, and it burns the thing that comes in. So rather than just Fiery licking the active Zoroark, I'm going to try to bring in that Shaman. If he doesn't have an energy, that's an easy 2 prizes for me. Plus, in the middle of that, I did happen to get a level ball to get myself a Heatmor, and I really wish I could go for that other level ball, but that 4th Heatmor died in the line of duty, acting like an absolute idiot. And whiff it on 1 with the Skyla, but that's still more than enough for anything that has a weakness to it. I still get 300 damage off on it. I also get a Skyla for my prizes, which means I can use this for an Ether. He will be able to Brutal Bash this turn for... I forget if Brutal Bash is times the number of dark Pokemon on your side of the field in play or on the bench. Okay, so it is in play on your side times the number of your dark Pokemon. It's not good, but I can go for the Skylar right now. I'm using this to get the Ether, which will actually thin out my deck a little more as well. By 1 Fire Energy and by 1 Ether. There's a lot of Fire Energies anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But get that other one powered up, and I'm just going to go ahead and try to knock him out. I whiff another one again, but it still does 150, and we're still cooking. We're still cooking with Heatmor. In the meantime, he still doesn't have any energy going on here whatsoever. 2 Heatmors versus a bunch of dark baddies. Anyways, oh god, my throat's getting sore from all the excitement involving Heatmor. Holy shit. And we see a Skyman come onto the field with a grass energy. I'm not worried about this because I do have another Heatmor on the bench. And he opts not to do anything with that. I'm going to go for the level ball just for funsies. I don't know why. Probably just to shuffle my deck around. Just in case I come into something else. I really don't know. Do I do it? Do I go for the Luring Flames? No, I just go for the Fire Energies. So 200 to that. I actually hit all Fire Energies on that one. That's great. I was under the impression he'd want to save the Skyman for his last turn to be able to do 180. But I think he just uses a switch for whatever reason and just goes into that. That could have been risky if he didn't have it. But I have an Ether. I have nothing to use it on, so I'm just going to keep it there. And I just decide, fuck it. I only need 2 Fire Energies to kill it off. Turns out I hit 4 anyway, so thank you. That was awesome. Running low on my deck, though. This thing where I'm attacking a lot, it's got to stop soon. Otherwise, I'm going to burn myself out. But his last one is Skyman. He can get another energy and use Revenge Blast to attack for 180. But the fact of the matter is, I probably have nothing but Fire Energy left in my deck at this point. I still have 1 Heatmor. I got a lot of energy in my hand, but there's still a lot more going on in there. So I hit fire. That kind of scared me right there, because if it turns out I only hit 1, if I hit like an Ether or a Skyla for a 3rd one of those, I wouldn't have made that kill. But it was in my favor, so yeah, but it still pretty much scared me. I mulliganed like 19,000 times against this guy. And by 19,000, I mean like 19 at least. I don't know. It was a lot, but he's only allowed to draw up to like 5 or 6 or 7. I don't know how many, but it definitely was a lot. And it turns out I get 1 Heatmor, and I have a level ball and an Ether. I don't remember if I go for the Ether on the first turn, though. I like to go for it on the second turn to surprise people and just be like, oh, hey, yeah, you know, I'm going to be ready on turn 3 to start attacking you. Just kidding. It's going to be turn 2, motherfucker. That kind of thing. But this Rayquaza is fast. It does 40 damage for 1 energy. That is devastating to this kind of deck. And it turns out he does happen to have that. And he's going to go for the Skyla to get himself a... I don't remember. It would make sense if he got a catcher, but I feel like he gets a Ultra Ball or something instead to get a Tynamo in play. Oh, he gets a Silent. Okay, and he's just going to use that for next turn. Level Ball is for the Tynamo. He's running one of those decks. He's running a Ray Eels with Dragon Vault Rayquaza, or Dragon's Exalted. Dragon Vault? Dragon Vault. I think it's Dragon Vault. Whatever. I run one of these two. They're pretty fun. I think he's running something different going on in his deck, too. I think he runs Entei, which is... interesting. Alright, but he does 40 on that, assuming that he's somewhat safe. I'm going to go for the Ether right now and hopefully get it. I do, which is great. And just attach to that. And Fiery Licks as long as I can hit a couple of them. Good, and I do the 200 thing, and all of a sudden he's out a Rayquaza. So, I don't think he's heard about this deck, which is actually really fun, and I think we end up talking about it near the end of the game. But one of my prizes was a Level Ball, which is going to let me thin out my deck a little bit more, get myself another Heatmor out in preparation for whatever happens. I feel like I'm being really redundant, and I'm just talking just for the sake of pleasing your ears, but it's fucking Speed Heatmor. What else do you want me to say about this? You get the Heatmors out, you put the energy on them, and they do the stuff. That's what this deck does. I figured I would just be a rebel and run it right now because nobody else is, because all I see are these really freaking hyper aggressive decks with like Darkrai and Tornadus and like Hypnotoxic. I'm like, man, it's just for squares. Don't do that. That's boring as hell. He starts doing something with his Mewtwo that both confuses and terrifies me at the same time. He loads it up with an unholy amount of energy. I do not want to Luring Flames it in because I do not have another Heatmor ready to go. So that way, you know, like when he knocks that one out, I'll be good to go. I do get a Level Ball, and I get my 3rd Heatmor in play, so I can start doing that. I decide the best course of action right now is to Luring Flame in his Electric. That way he'll have to attach 2 or a DCE on that. It'll be great to see him burn up a DCE. He can still attach Electric Energy to the Mewtwo. And he also gets a 2nd hit, which is nice because, you know, it forces him to burn up energy or switches or whatever, what have you. I was under the impression he was going to be running switches. This kind of deck tends to run them, so that way you can just switch out your Eels or, you know, switch your Rayquazas and then retreat, that kind of thing. It turns out he doesn't get into any of them. And he puts another Fire and another Electric and another Electric. It stops losing count of how many energies that thing has until after, like, the 4th one. Which is, like, if you see energy go onto it and it caps out right there, it's got, like, 5 energy. And that's fucking terrifying. He's going to get some burn damage on there. I'm just stalling. That's what I do. I don't want to add Hammers to stall or anything like that. They're kind of inconsistent. Although they would help, I could do catchers, maybe, I don't know. I feel like Skylas, Ethers, and Level Balls are fine. It's been working out great. So, in the chat, you can see that I was like, LOL. I was like, when was I going to hit one? I was hitting like all fire energies. I had a hand with like 3 Level Balls and a Skyla in it, and no Heatmor, which is really funny. The fact that he plays Sky Arrow is really nice, which means I can retreat this one for 1. I did not pay attention to that until like just now, because I could have potentially just Luring Flamed and then just actually no, fuck it, whatever. I'm looking to see how many energy he has on this thing. He's got like 3, 4. I see he has 4, and then he switches it in, and it's like, holy shit, that's so much energy. That is absolutely terrifying. 1, 2, 3. I have to count with my mouse right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the fuck out of the way, Eel. I'm counting here. I'm looking to see if that has energy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 or 8 energy on that Mewtwo. I need to stall until I can get 1 Heatmor going, and then once that one gets revenged, then I can get another one going. I need a way to knock out that Mewtwo, though, because this is terrifying. He can start attaching energy to these Eels all he wants to. I think he puts 1-on-1 somewhere along the way, or he puts it on the Mewtwo. I honestly don't know, but this whole eggs in one basket thing, not working out. And the fact that he ends is fantastic because I can Skyla for a Level Ball, get my final Heatmor, assuming it is not priced. 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 No, my Heatmors are $5.99 each. No, prized. I can use Skylar to look through the rest of my deck, which is really fortunate. For now, he's going to scramble switch and just X-ball me. The fortunate thing is I have one more energy. Or I just need one more energy to start attacking. So I go for the Skyla, see what is left in my deck. I have 2 Skylas, 2 Ethers. I have a Level Ball and a Heatmor. I'm definitely going to go for that. Just to get rid of some cards out of my deck and hopefully come to some more fire energies. And there we go. So Heatmor's down on the field. If I can't hit this is a problem. I Fiery Lick it though, and I get 4 fire energies on that, and all that energy is gone off that Mewtwo. I don't know how many that was, but that was a lot. And now he has I lied. He has 1 energy on the field on his Entei. And we're still looking good, guys. This is fantastic. I think he attached another one to that Entei and is obviously going to Dynamotor another one over. I'm still slightly ahead in prize cards, which is really nice. I just need to get that second one built up and then potentially knock out the Entei somewhere along the way. But I can Skyla for an Ether right here, which is very nice. Get that, or I could chain Skylas just to get rid of the stuff in my deck. But I kind of feel like time is a little more pressing, and I'm kind of running out of options right now. So I'm going to go ahead and Luring Flame in another Eel and just stall a little more. A catcher every turn for your attack is kind of cool. It's all you really can do. So he's gonna go ahead and silent. He doesn't have a lot of cards in his deck, which is nice. I'm kind of in the same boat, but not for the same reasons, because whatever I don't use in supporters, I end up just milling off the top of my own deck, but it's for a good cause. Ultra Ball's right here for a Raikou, if I'm not mistaken. This is a little bit scary, but the one thing I see that I can do right now is I can take out that Eel. That'll get me my first prize card. He will undoubtedly bring in an EX to revenge kill it, and then all I have to do is get a 4 fire energy Fiery Lick on whatever EX is out, and I take my final 2 prizes. That's it. The one thing I'm scared about is not getting the 4 energy Fiery Lick. That will come into play a little bit later in this game, if I'm not mistaken. For now, he's kind of stuck. He's just prepping on his side of the field, you know, doing what eel decks do. I'm doing what my deck does and just sitting here waiting for them to kind of try to take the shit out. Now he has less cards in his deck than I do, which is really funny. Spoilers, I draw another fire energy, and I decide that now is the time to do that plan that I was talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and Fiery Licks. I get 4 fire energies on this one, and it's kind of pointless because I just really only needed 1. But I get a Skylar right now. The one thing I'm worried about is how many not energies I have in my deck. I do have a 19 card deck. Now, it's going to be like 17 or 16 or 15 of these are fire energies. And I need to hit 4 of them in a row. So I'm looking at my discard pile. I got 2 Heatmors, 2 level balls, 3 level balls? 3 level balls, 2 Ethers, 2 Skylas. So I think I have, including with the Skyla in my hand, I probably have 1 more Skyla and 2 more Ethers in my deck, if I'm not mistaken. That's the math I'm trying to do right now on the fly. There's that play right there that happens with the EX coming in. He put an Evilite on that a couple turns ago. So this is why I'm saying I need, well, not that it really mattered anyway, but I'm looking through my deck finally. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think like 14 energy. No, 14 or 15 energy. A Skyla and 2 Ethers. I decide to get a Skyla right now. And he's like, good game. I didn't expect that. And I said, your odds of winning are pretty good right now, because I have to hit 4 fires to KO. And that'll do 180 exactly. And if I don't hit it, then I end up losing. I have 17 cards left in my deck. I'm telling him everything that's happening. 2 are not fire. So I don't know the exact math on this, but I'm a little bit scared of that happening at this point. So I whiff 1, I lose. And that's what's going on right there. It is 1 Heatmor versus a powered up Entei. I'm kind of scrolling up just to see what he said, and I was like, I think I'm just giving him a nice response. And I'm like, either way, hilarious game, had fun, something like that. Let's see what happens. There we go. Give him a smiley face, because it really was a fun game up until this point. And no, I whipped the ether on the last one, and he just ends up knocking me out. That was close. I legit tripped on the final possible turn. But the guy had never seen Speed Heatmors before, and that was a hell of an encounter for me. So he just knocked me out with a Grand Flame. I was one turn away from victory on that one. There was no chance of me, like, Grand Flaming or anything like that. But I think this is the only match I had, or what was I trying to say earlier? There's no, like, hope of me luring fire, luring flame in something, and then just luring flaming it back in, because then he would have just ended up knocking me out. But that's the only game I've had where someone has knocked out all 4 of my Heatmors in order to win. So that was kind of cool, because ordinarily I don't get all 4 of them in play. Here, we have a scary matchup. This is Sableye and Darkrai. This is one of those aggressive decks at face value that I'm thinking that it is. I get a Level Ball and a Skyla in my opening hand, which is really nice. I decide to Skyla. I'm going to get myself an Ether, which is very unusual of me. I should not be doing that, especially if he has a Crushing Hammer going on. But it turns out I go for the Ether, and I get an Ether, which is like, son of a bitch. I hate that. I hate, like, Ether is in this deck almost for the guaranteed attach. Or you're supposed to, under normal circumstances, get an attach. And it just doesn't happen sometimes. Like, in one of my games, I had 2 Ethers with, and they hit 2 level balls, or it was a level ball and a Skyla, but it was really, really frustrating. Fortunately, I come into a Skyla and another Ether, and then I draw my second Ether, and I'm just like, is this happening? This is great. Like, there is some divine thing happening right now, and I go for another Ether, if I'm not mistaken, and I get the next Fire Energy. Would have been great if I could hit that first one, but I get to Skyla right now. I think he ended on that previous turn, so I get to go for my last Ether on this turn just to accelerate even more. And look at that, I get 3 out of 4. So I got scared on that first one, but I have 5 energy on the field. He's got 1. And I think I whiffed with something. I think I must have hit a level ball or something on that. But there you go. First prize, turn 2. And I get a Skyla off of that, which can get a level ball, which can get my final Heatmors. And I'm super fucking stoked. Oh, my lord. I don't really care that he's putting Dark Claws on any of this stuff. I know this is one of those Hypnotoxic decks. And I don't care, really, because, like, if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. I don't expect amazing things from this deck. So he just ends up retreating, going for the Hypnotoxic. I believe I had a phone call right there, which is why I decided to pause the recording. But it ends up going into my turn. I do Skyla for the level ball, as I previously mentioned. He had his Tornadus in play, which is why I decide to knock it out, take another prize. So there was a little bit of a gap there. I do apologize for that. And then I remembered that I didn't have my microphone on while I was recording, and I was, like, narrating to nothing in particular, which is why I remembered I had to do a post narration. This is a long post narration, but I'm trying to, like, make good ground with you guys. Like, I know you guys don't like short videos, and I know you like live narrations because they're longer and you get, like, genuine reactions. These aren't genuine reactions, but for those of you that actually like longer videos, I'm, like, talking my lungs off right now to bring you Speed Heatmors, and it's absolutely hilarious. I probably would not be doing it for any other video, and I'm probably going to lose my voice at the end of this, because I was just at a job interview earlier, so I was, like, talking a shit ton for that. I just got back from that, narrated, realized I was wasting that, and then I'm narrating again. So I've been talking for, like, 4 or 5 hours straight, and I could probably go with, like, some Hall's Fruit Breezers or something like that. Those would be fantastic. Anyways, what are we looking at on the field? He's probably going to attack me on this turn. If he does, that second Heatmors is ready to go. Like, it's great. My deck now no longer has any Ethers, does not have any Heatmors, probably has 1 level ball. I've used a decent amount of Skylas. I feel really good about going for the Fiery Licks right now and hitting it with 4 Fire Energies. And it turns out, spoilers, ladies and gentlemen, I do. And now he has lost his main mode of attacking right there. The only way I can see him pulling this off right now is if he has, like, a Sableye and he dark patches, and he energy switches. That is the thing I'm seeing. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hit it right now, though. I don't know if he just came into that Ultra Ball, but he probably, if he didn't have it, he probably should have done that for the Sableye, dark patch, energy switch, that kind of thing. Yeah, and it turns out he ends up passing. So I'm going to Skylar right now, see if I can get anything out of this. I'm just going to pull the Level Ball out of my deck just to give myself some added security. As you noticed, all that's left in my deck now is Fire Energy. It is welcome to the fucking Heatmors, bitch. And I get my final 2 prizes off of that. That was like a 5-minute game. But that's Speed Heatmors. That's what Speed Heatmors does. So, anyway, we got another game. This is just pure Heatmors. I wasn't feeling good about this one. And to be honest, I don't know why I started recording when this turned out the way it did. Usually I start recording when I have like at least an ether in my hand, which happens sometimes. And on top of that, I didn't even go first, so I don't know why the hell I recorded this, but obviously if it's on my hard drive, I'd saved it because it was good. Otherwise I would have deleted it right after. But he's got Mewtwo, Tornadus, Bouffalant. I'm noticing that Bouffalant has the 2 retreat cost, so I'm going to stall for a little bit. I'm going to go for the Luring Flame on that, and it's going to get burned, and yeah. I'm really scared of Mewtwo because the instant it gets enough to X-Ball, it is able to knock me out, assuming I am at Fiery Lick level. Now, I love it when people end me out early game because it brings me usually into some good shit. Turns out he ethers. That's cool. He can get himself one of those too. I have another Heatmors in my hand that I can start getting built up. As you can see, I have the Skylar, which can be used to get me another ether. He does get the Crushing Hammer going, but that's cool, because I'm not seeing a Sableye, and he's stuck right now anyway. Turns out I fucking top deck another ether. How beautiful is that? I'm going to Skyla for it's either a Level Ball or an ether. I think I'm going for the Level Ball, just to get another Heatmors on the field. Just so that way, because I'm more likely to draw into those than I am... I'm more likely to draw into Fire Energies than I am Heatmors, so I might as well do that. I'm gonna, like, lull the false sense of security on this turn. Unless he can, I don't know, like, whatever. I kind of want him to bring that Mewtwo in so I can just fucking revenge it. But he's going to go for a 4-card Colress, and that's not a big deal right there. The fact that I have 2 ethers in my hand and a deck full of Fire Energies, oh man, that gets me so unbelievably hard. You have no idea. Gets another energy on Tornadus, and he's got a 2-card hand. I'm not feeling too bad about what he's doing. Turns out he Super Scoops, which is as good as a switch. It puts it back in his hand, gets rid of all the damage on it, and he just gets to promote Mewtwo. The cool thing here is I can go for an ether. It turns out to be a Level Ball, so I'm just going to go ahead and Skyla to shuffle my deck around a little bit and hopefully not waste it. Or no, I'm getting another ether. Okay, when you use a card that looks through your deck, you end up shuffling your deck afterwards, so the top deck will no longer be the card that you thought it was. So I go for that. I go for 2 ethers. I actually went for 3, but I get 2, I get a 3rd, and this is that false sense of security shit I was talking about. I go for the Fiery Lick, and it turns out I whiff one of these. And he had an Eviolite, which is why I absolutely fucking needed that. Oh, that was depressing. The best thing I can do is I can go into that one, and I can Luring Flame in the Zekrom to buy myself a little bit of time again. I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket like that, but the odds are like that. The odds are in your favor when you go for the Fiery Lick. So, I do have a dead turn where he doesn't do anything, so I'm just going to leave the Zekrom in there. The only way he can do anything to me is if he double colorless and retreats, or a Hypnotoxic. Either way, Hypnotoxic just means I'm on a timer. I get to attach a 3rd to that one, and I believe do I Luring Flame? I think I Luring Flame in the Mewtwo because it's got a lot of damage on it, and I can get some burn damage off right here. It just needs one more turn of burn damage, so if he wants to kill me off right here, he has 50-50 odds that he'll die at the end of the turn, and that is what I am absolutely gunning for. I think he may recognize that too, and he probably does not want to take that risk, and I think he just ends up retreating on this turn. Either way, I'm looking at my discard pile to see what's in there. There's a lot of not fires. I have not attacked. I've been using my resources up out of my deck as quickly as possible, which is nice. Turns out I top deck an ether. I was not planning on attacking with this Heatmor, but now that I got it, I might as well, because I was just going to Luring Flame in the Zekrom, but okay, Ether on that one, and a Fiery Lick. Turns out I get Friendly Fire on one of my own Heatmors. Oh my lord. This deck is not as lucky as I make it seem. Sometimes this does happen. And it turns out he just takes me out with a blow through. The thing I am glad about is the Mewtwo is sitting on the bench, waiting to die from one turn of burn damage. And yeah, the great thing is though, is now that all the rest of that shit is out of my deck, this is one Heatmor versus the rest of the entire fucking world. So, I take out a Tornadus, play cleanup on that one. I didn't really need to play cleanup because I got the 200 Fiery Lick anyway. Tornadus, if it gets a Stadium in play and a DCE, it can do 200. Eviolite will not save you if I can get, you know, if I can. It turns out he does get a DCE on it, and so he will be able to hit me for 30. There is no point to attaching energy. I'm just going to go for a Fiery Lick. It turns out that I freaking whiff another one. Again, this is scaring me. And he gets a Crushing Hammer. Oh no, he got one Crushing Hammer. That's not a big deal when I've got a handful of Fire Energy. If he got another Crushing Hammer, my butt probably would have had a little pucker moment right there. But it turns out that he doesn't, and I just get a Skyla just to pull some stuff out of my deck because I do not want to be whiffing any more of these. Go for Level Ball, even though I know it's probably going to be in vain, and I just really want to look at the rest of my deck one more time. I have the rest Fire Energy, and I have one Level Ball in there. I do not want to whiff. Turns out I don't on this one. Not that it really mattered. That should have happened the first time. And he's going to bring in the Zekrom. I thought that he had another DCE and he was just going to Outrage. But then again, he probably could have just brought in a Mewtwo and X-Balled. So the fact that he brings us in means that he needs a turn. I'm not going to give him that turn, guys. I'm going to Luring Flame in the Mewtwo, and then if it takes burn damage at the end of the turn, which it does, I take my final 2 prize cards. Oh, man. Suck that Mewtwo Tornadus. Suck my Heatmor dick. Next game. Okay, what do we got? Looking at my Vegas track, I have 2 more games left for you guys, if I'm not mistaken. This next one's a shorter game. The other one's, I'm not going to say standard length, but Heatmor sometimes has long games. Whatever. I don't know why my mouse is doing that. Whatever. It's doing weird things. Okay. I have 2 Heatmors. I just started recording with Fraps just because I saw an Ether in my hand. That is generally what I do. If I don't have that, I won't start it, with the exception of that middle game. I was like, I don't know why. This one's fucking stupid. I don't know why I saved this one, but I guess I'll talk about it. He has a throw, which is not really that. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just not even going to talk about this, and this one's really stupid. Okay, next game. Sorry about that first one. I don't know why that was still in there, question mark. Okay, I did have the Heatmor, and I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Luring Flame on the first turn. Why I did not use that Skyla, I think is probably just to, once again, build that false sense of security that I don't really have anything, and it's just going to be a 3-turn build-up. Getting the drop on people on that turn 2 is really, really nice. Turn 1 with Heatmor is very rare, but extremely rewarding. That means you've used up a lot of your resources. You've used 2 Ethers for sure, and you've actually hit them correctly. Thankfully, he did not get the Confusion on the Confuse Ray. That would have been very bad if he did. But I'm going to go for the Skyla right now to get myself said Ether. As you can see, if I went for an Ether right there, I would have hit a Heatmor because I shuffled shit around. It's more likely that I get a Fire now. It's very nice. So right now, all I have to do is hit 2 of them. 1 of them, I think, since I got burn damage. But turns out I get a Level Ball and a Heatmor. It's sad to see a Heatmor go, but I hit a Level Ball with it too. So that's just two things out of my deck that kind of complement each other that are just gone now. So more odds of hitting Fire, that's great. As long as I can get the Darkrai out of the way before I... The Darkrai needs to go before I lose. What am I trying to say here? If I don't get another Heatmor in play before that Darkrai is built up, then I lose. That's what I was trying to say. This is what happens when you talk for 5 hours. It's my throat. Okay, so I get an Ether, but I don't have anything to do with it, so I'm just going to Fire Lick again. Hope I don't hit another Heatmor, but I really just want to keep getting prizes. I don't want to bring that Darkrai in. I would much rather... Do I do it? I don't remember if I pass or not. I think I'm just going to opt to do it. Turns out I hit a Level Ball on that, but hey. Odds are I could have a Heatmor in the prizes too. Turns out I get a Skyla, which I can use to get a Level Ball to get another Heatmor. And I have my mouse over that forfeit match button Because I was like, I'm probably going to end up losing if he has another one. And it turns out that he doesn't. So he just opts to retreat to that. That was a scary turn. I'm not going to lie. I was legitimately terrified on that turn. But I get to go for the manual attach on that one. I think I just top decked that Skylas. Turns out I hit the Heatmor on that one. Which is like, man, come on. That's stupid. Might as well get a level ball. Get a third Heatmor in play. Security. It's wonderful. But I do that just to get some cards out of the way, as I've been doing the entire video. And now I'm not too scared. I've only got one ready for attacking. I pass. I just pass because that means he has to attach an energy onto the Reshiram in order to be able to retreat it, which means I have one more turn to prepare for Darkrai, and in this case Mewtwo. So been fighting a lot of full art Mewtwo's today now that I think about it. Huh, that's cool. Whatever. I don't have any of those online. I think I might have at one point. I probably traded it for something really good. So, whatever. If there were full art Heatmors, I'd be running those right now. These guys have been nothing but good to me all day. Man, the manliest of Heatmors. He catches in another one. That's fine. I get to Skylar right now, and now I get some Ether shenanigans, if I'm not mistaken. There's an Ether, and yeah. Attached to that first one. And I decide to Ether. Turns out I get it. Wonderful. I decide to attach to that bench one because whatever. Bringing in the Mewtwo. Same story with that. I just like a little insurance on that just because with burn damage, it'll make it so I only have to hit 3 fire energies instead of 4, as I've been doing in the video. Because Mewtwo does have 170 HP. It's really nice against 170 HP EXs like Mewtwo and Keldeo, and I believe Rayquaza, if I'm not mistaken, has 170. Turns out he heals it, but I think he ends up taking burn damage in between turns anyway, so we're just kind of right back where we started. That was a huge waste if you ask me. I'm going to attach to that one, and I believe it's really tempting to retreat. I don't remember if I do. I think I just end my turn because it seems like he doesn't have anything right now. I'm waiting for that one energy drop where he retreats into something that he needs to. If he gets a DCE on that, as you can see, he's pretty stuck, which is pretty unfortunate. But because he didn't get anything, I'm going for it. Balls deep in this bitch, and Fiery Licks is going to take out that Mewtwo. Now I'm feeling pretty good, because now I have 2 Heatmors ready to attack. If one gets knocked out, I do have the one on the left that just needs 1 more energy, and I have the one on the right that is ready to go, which is a weird situation that I don't normally find myself in. I say normally, like I've been playing this a long time. I just started playing this earlier today, motherfuck. Anyway, put a lot of fire energies back into my deck. Just get some back. That's fine. I can only attach 1 fire energy a turn anyways. Weird thing would have been if I drew, like, 2 Skylas, and then I didn't draw another fire energy. But no, that's not likely to happen, especially when 3 out of 4 of them are in the discard pile. All 4 of my level balls, all 4 of my Ethers are in there, I think. Or maybe I have 1 more Skyla and 1 more Ether. I don't know, but looking at the field, it's not necessary right now. I get to... What do I get to do right now? I'm just kind of waiting on him. If he's gonna see if he's gonna leave it in. That Reshiram is really cool. I think those were the very first full arts from the black and white set. Those were the only cool things that you could pull out of the first booster packs. I think catchers weren't in the set after that. There really wasn't anything cool in like the first 2. Off the top of my head, someone's probably gonna comment and be like, blah 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 was in that set, you fucking cheese guzzler. You know, I'd be like, why'd you just call me a cheese guzzler? And be like, why didn't you think this was cool? Because I forgot. God damn. Anyway, we see a hammer finally. I was kind of expecting that from Darkrai, especially with the Sableye at the beginning of this game. But that's fine, because I have another energy anyway. It just held me back a turn, and I just go for Fire Licks. Turns out I get my last Ether on that one, but I only need 130 to take out the Reshiram. I hit it for 150. That's cool. Turns out it was Darkrai Hydreigon, and he just either didn't have his priorities in order or just wasn't drawing into any supporters. I don't know. Kind of sucked either way for him, but he finally gets a Juniper. And I think he gets his shit going way too late, because he's got 2 Blind Energies and a Dark. He's probably got a Skyman in here somewhere. But even if he does Night Spear that one, I can just go into either one. It will probably not take more than 2 Heatmors to finish the job. Especially with all the resources that I've used up. Being in the discard pile, it's going to be really easy for me to hit... what am I saying? It's going to be really easy for me to hit 4 of these. 4 fire energies off the fiery licks. Is what I'm trying to say. So, he gets 1 prize off of that. That's the only prize he's gotten all game. And I just hit him with 4 fire energy fiery licks for the game. Holy shit, was that 45 minutes of Speed Heatmor actually doing something? That was. I really hope you guys like that. I've been talking to this computer for far too long. If you did enjoy it, though, you are more than welcome. Leave a like rating, comment, and subscribe, and do your thing. That's going to do it for this one, and yeah, I will see you guys on the next TCGO day, which is probably going to be Tuesday? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Okay, bye.